My friends, today we get the chance to weigh in regarding yet another plane crash, jet crash, where we know nothing about it, but we have a lot of suspicions. And we're very good at the suspicions. We don't believe anything ever happens just randomly. We love to see reasons and causation, diabolical connections. Like, we know what's going on here. Don't tell me for one reason that all of a sudden that this just happened. Lo and behold, out of nowhere, right? Don't give me that. Don't give me that story. Don't give me that story that you expect me to believe that what? There isn't some reason for this. Because mankind always loves to see reason, loves to see this, loves to say, no, I understand, and I know, and I'm an expert on this. Now, meanwhile, that's our group. The other group says, hey, look at the fire. Or Ainsley Earhart says, you ever wonder if when you hit the ground, do you die right away, or do you have time to pray? So you've got the retardates over here, and then you've got the folks, our group, where we walk into the room with pointy hats and half moons and a wand and we flip the light because we want there to be, we love there to be, we just revel in this constant sense of there's something going on. There's a reason for this. This is part of a bigger deal. And then you get this, look, this is my favorite. Look, there's this guy and he has a website, he has a YouTube channel. Look, he's a pilot. Do you understand? And he shows you how this thing works. Damn it, watch this. What does it say? I know what happened. No, don't you understand? They were flying at different, but that's what the government says. Well, I don't know. And we just have these other groups of people who just love to get mad. Don't you understand? This isn't random. There's a reason for this. Maybe there is. What? Oh, I know. And then you have this one. My brother was in the military. My cousin was in the military. My friend was in the military. I know this. And my cousin said, there's something to this. It's fascinating. I'm fascinated not by the case, but by your reaction. I hope they pray. Pray for what? I hope they pray our thoughts and prayers. What good are prayers going to do? Where was God when this thing happened? Oh, don't say that. What do you mean don't say that? You don't think the pilot or the people on board stood a sign of the cross or whatever the hell they did and said, please let us have a safe trip? God wasn't there then. Stop saying that. What's the matter with you? Nobody ever, it's the weirdest thing. I never, how do I say this? It's never the issue. It's the reaction. That's what's fabulous. I've been going through this since 9/11. I've been watching this the whole time. It's the people who are, one came up last night with one of the best ones ever that I heard. This was great. Remember when Trump had the sword? Did you follow this one? Trump had the sword. Oh, it's interesting, right? The sword. And what was that all about? Well, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what that was about. But it was a sword. Okay. And there was the cake with Air Force One. Uh-huh. Yeah. And he might have cut the plane versus the runway or something. Uh-huh. Meaning what? Meaning Trump's giving some kind of signal? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. People love this. It's part of being a human. That's why we love symbology and we love secret handshakes and we love colors and we love symbology and astrology, and we love to figure out what this means. I had a very interesting someone before commented, this was very good. I really like this. Somebody said, this is not again. Don't say not again. It's yet again. I thought, what's the difference? And doing a cursory review, not again, when you say, oh, not again, expresses frustration or disappointment or sadness or something. It's something happening for a second time, implying a desire for it to stop, while yet again simply means something is happening repeatedly, often with a sense of weariness or resignation, indicating it has happened multiple times before. Well, I don't know if this has happened multiple times. I still think it's not again. We have two major aircraft disasters back to back. Not again conveys a stronger negative feeling, like, oh no, this is happening again. That's it. Yet again indicates a repetitive occurrence without necessarily adding strong negative emotion, like it's been delayed yet again. So it's very interesting. And then someone wrote, again, this magical, mythical, there's two people that our groups love more than anybody else. There is nobody that our people love more than Saul Alinsky and Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, full of shit from the beginning, absolutely fraudulent. Just one of the greatest examples of everybody agree she's brilliant. Yes, objectivism. This notion of worrying about other people. And these are the same people who turn around and they pray. Oh, let's pray for. I'm fascinated by how you respond to this thing. You see things that are not of order and you demand order. You want there to be order. You love legerdemain. You love surreptitious stratagems, and you love this. Oh, you're great. And I love it too, if it's warranted, but I don't go looking for it. You see it when it's not even there, or when there's no evidence of it occurring. This is who we are. This is who we are. You would make, I'm sorry, not all of you, some the worst researchers ever applying this ideology. Oh my God, you would be approving drugs. Well, no. This is not a significant difference between, okay. So should we approve the drug? No, not yet. Not yet. Oh, it's so interesting. And I would love, if you want to have something fun, say something. You do know that we live in a world right now where we have become friends of the people. We don't really know the ideas, but a lot of us know the people. For example, Candace Owens is a mean, nasty, very troubled, very conflicted, very angry. She doesn't like herself at all. She's angry. She just wants to, and it's very, very popular. Now, I'm not going to go through history and tell you the people who were very, very popular, and some people who are not popular too. So when I tell people this, they don't want to listen to me if they're a fan of hers, because they'll just say, I like her. That's my friend. Here's another one too. Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlson discussing Israel. The most boring waste of time you have ever spent. If you can get past 3 minutes of this, God bless you. It is the worst. It is so bad. It is so base, so shallow, so devoid of any complexity. Absolutely horrible. Patrick Ben David. Oh, dear God, so pompous. not really that facile with the mother tongue. He tries to overcome his inability to explicate clearly with a feigned and an exaggerated exuberance that has nothing really to do with either the complexity or the importance of the subject that he's speaking. Absolutely. Incredible. Great performers, great people, great Alex Jones. Alex Jones, one of the best. Whitney Webb, one of the best. James Corbett, one of the best. Will never make it in the real world. Boring, because they don't scream. Whitney Webb, polite, she smiles. Brilliant, brilliant, off the charts. Never make it. Why? She doesn't scream, doesn't yell. She's not snarling. She doesn't. Argh. But put that mean old Candace Owens on, who has a, pardon my expression, has a hard on for Brigitte Macron. Why? Why? Ooh, doth protest too much. What's this about? She has a problem with people hiding because she recognizes herself as hiding. Oh, I could go on, my friends. Now, let me start off with this terrible, the irony. This little girl flying back to Tijuana, please. Not Tijuana. That would be Tiajuana. It's Tijuana. T-I. Tijuana. Say it. Fentanyl, not fentanyl. Fentanyl ends in Y. Okay? Little things like that. Little, you can always tell. Supposedly, that kind of stuff. All right. This little girl, the irony, flying back. She comes here, a life-saving surgery. She's flying back. Must have a lot of money, or somebody's independently paying with it. A jet, an ambulance jet, with a mother, a doctor, a nurse, a pilot, copilot. Oh my God. Can you imagine the expense of this thing? Dear God. Flies back and dies. It loses altitude. It loses altitude. It loses altitude. Oh my God. But then again, you say, you know how many jets take off every single day from little mountain strips? And how you've seen those 100,000, I don't know how many a day. So what happened here? I don't know. It just happened. It just happened. I mean, you can explain it. If somebody says, well, here's what happened. Was it sabotage? I don't know. Could be. I don't know. Do you want to find out what happened or why it happened, or both? Somebody was sending me these. There's a fellow who, I guess he's a pilot, and he's saying, no, don't you understand, you idiot, damn it, you people, OMG, it's here. I'm a pilot. I go, no, you idiot. We're not talking about why it happened. We know what happened. It went like that. They hit. And you can show me a trap. I know when you know what? Save it. They went like this. Ready? Here's my graph. Pow. That's what happened. And guess what happens? They're flying at the same altitude. Duh. They crashed into each other. You need a YouTube for this? But people wrote me, oh, you idiot. No, schmuck. We know that. Duh. But that's it. What do you think this is about? Well, it's a reason why. Saul Alinsky. Oh, Jesus. You're bringing him up again? Ayn Rand. Saul Alinsky. The Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky says some of the best stuff ever, that if you applied it to what we were doing, it makes the most sense. I mean, it is the most, believe me when I'm telling you this, it is what's happening. Remember, it's not the incident. It's what people are saying. It's not the incident. It's how people react to it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not the incident. It's not what happened. That's not what I'm saying to you. It's how people respond. This is the same thing with religion. Our thoughts and prayers. What does that mean? I don't know. I just say it. What good is that going to do? Well, I don't know. It's like Gesundheit or God bless you. Achoo, God bless you. Goodbye is a contraction or conflation, if you will, of God be with ye. And What does that mean? I don't know. We just react to this. Oh, the horror. And then I want to talk to you about something else, which is the most important. There are people today who love being upset. There are people today who love to say, some days I can't even go outside. Really? I know. Me too. I can't believe this. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the worst thing. What? There are people I know who were in Jersey who were freaking out to the Philly thing and say it was a plane crash. What is this? Oh my God. What would you have done during World War II when London was being bombed, when you were in the tube? We are the biggest bunch of wimps. Everybody loves it. I can't breathe. I'm so. Selena Gomez, which by the way has backfired on her like you can't believe. We love to show crying, weeping, this, oh my. Do you have any idea of what I'm saying? Do you have any earthly idea of how fascinating this subject is? Another thing, where do we get our information from? Where? Last night, as Mrs. L and I were doing our Ventilation Friday, on the phone. I'm doing it. This happened. Look at this. I'm not watching Fox. I'm not watching any of that stuff. I'm not watching any of that stuff. That's ridiculous. I want to see this. I can get all the newspapers, all the accounts, everything right here. I don't need this. It's old. Again, it's the old. I'm already there. You can't possibly. Let's go out live right now to channel 29. Let's go to Dick Gazania. Dick, what's happening? Well, Bob, as you can see, yes, I can see this. You don't have to point. They go like this. Because these are morons. And they're saying, I guess I wanted to be in show business. I don't know. And then you had the greatest one the other day regarding Washington. You had, of all people, Ainsley Earhart, Hannity's fiance. This numbnut says, can I ask you a question? And I'm paraphrasing. I just want to know this. Do you think when they hit the water, did they know? This is like a little child. Do they know when they hit the water? Do they die right away, or do they? I'm paraphrasing. Or do they suffer? Do they have time to pray to God, say their last little prayer before they go? Is that the way they do it? And this SEAL Team 6 says, golly, he was trying to say, like, shut the up, lady. She actually said this. This moron, crazy. Do you think that people, do you felt it, or do you know you're going to die? Does it hurt? When it blows up, does it hurt? I couldn't believe what I was saying. And they're wondering, this is why the media are, oh my God. This is, and I promise you, nobody at Fox ever said, you're an idiot. Ainsley, you shouldn't be allowed to drive a car, much less have sharp objects. Edie Crowley says, Mr. Al, it's the age of being triggered. I have very few people I can talk to because I trigger them. That's why I listen to you. That is true. Pilgrim says, we're getting better sifting wheat from chaff, Mr. Al. Well, some of us are, I think, Pilgrim. I think some of us, I think you are, we are. But you're right about the being triggered. Oh my God. Remember this? Oh my God. This was a big one too. This was when you would flap your hands around and you go, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. Service animals, anxiolytics, edibles, staying inside, sleeping in your PJs, going with your little Uggs to the door to get your takeout, get your DoorDash or whatever it was, your Uber Eats, as you sit on the couch, wrapped up watching Netflix during COVID. Oh my God. Remember that? I have no time for this. And I have no time for the fact that we can't even ask an intellectual question without somebody getting up. We are. I also believe that we are going to be very, very, very soon going into the next level. And listen to me carefully. The next transitional period of news and opinion platforming. We are going to say, okay, we've experimented with this one. Okay, things don't qualify anymore. Bill Maher sitting in a room smoking dope with Bill Burr. Okay, that's run its course. It's going to go more to like an Alex Jones. Alex is, by the way, has a wonderful transition. Alex is losing weight. I believe he stopped drinking. I don't know this for a fact, but I would bet anything. You can't live and you can't think clearly if you're gassed all the time. And you'd be surprised how much we're going to find out that drinking any amount of liquor clouds you. It doesn't, you're just not as sharp. And you will also find out that when you are older, as you get older, certain things get better, but certain things get whatever. Recovery time and your ability to assimilate alcohol, not good. So you should probably just stop drinking altogether as you get older. You will enjoy things. But he has been superb. Superb. That's where we're going. And more of this, not just this quirkiness. He tells you, Alex Jones, for example, his focus is on the news. Candace Owens, it's me. You're not tuning in for the news. You're tuning into me. You want to see me snarl and flare. Brigitte Macron. That's what you want, not the subject matter. Who gives a rat's ass? Whether Emmanuel Macron's wife was a woman or a boy or a band or whatever, does that make any sense? Nobody cares about that. Unless you've got some really deep psychosexual, psychosocial problems yourself that you're manifesting by virtue of this inordinate amount of interest, veiled and hidden behind this anger. Anger. If you can't see this, my friend, I can't help you. Can't help you with that one. You're on your own. You're probably thinking that Saul Alinsky is going to, or Ayn Rand, or whatever the hell people think. Oh, no, no, no. Now, the new news, the most important thing. What is the most important news today? Let me ask you, what's the most important news? What is it? What's the most important news? Come on, children. What do you think? What do you think? What's the most important issue today? I'll tell you what it is. The president is a monster. What he is doing. He is a monster. Go to X. Now, depending upon your, like my news story is different than Mrs. L. That's weird because they kind of aggregate differently. Thousands march in London for Tommy Robinson's release. Did you see this? Thousands of supporters of Tommy Robinson. If you don't know who Tommy Robinson is, I can't help you. Is anybody going to go look for it? You want me to tell you, well, who's Tommy Robinson? Look it up. I don't look things up. Well, look it up now. Well, okay. Thousands of supporters of Tommy Robinson gathered in central London today to demand his release from prison. Demonstrators marched towards Westminster, waving Union Jack flags and chanting slogans. The protest reflects widespread dissatisfaction among certain groups with the current political climate, focusing on the issue of what they refer to as political prisoners. Police presence was increased. Watch this, and they're going to call him a right winger or a right. You're missing the point. Look at this notion called the AfD. Have you seen the AfD in Germany? It is critical. Absolutely critical. Look at this. Trump honors Black History Month, includes Sowell and Thomas in proclamation. Absolutely. Trump orders water release from California dams amid controversy. Photo of beautiful water flow that I just opened in California. Look at this on X. Today, 1.6 billion gallons. And in 3 days, it will be 5.2 billion gallons. Everybody should be happy about this long-fought victory. I only wish they listened to me 6 years ago. There would have been no fire. Do you see what he's doing? Do you see what he is doing? There is just these wonderful, wonderful memes are so beautiful. There's a picture of, I can't, I'm not going to explain it, but follow me at Lionel Media on X. Trump has proven that a businessman can run this country better than politicians ever could. It's the most important thing in the world. Do you recognize? Do you see this? Do you see what Pete Hegseth is doing? Do you see what they're doing to the media? Are you aware of this? Dear God, it's the most fantastic thing I've ever seen in my life. Pentagon media rotation, out with the old, in with the new. Pete Hegseth has evicted the New York Times, NPR, NBC, and Politico from their Pentagon offices to make room for One American News Network, the New York Post, Breitbart News Network, and HuffPost. Isn't that wonderful? I love this. I absolutely love this. More, it's a new day. It's a new era. It's new everything. Caroline Leavitt is the most dangerous person to the radical left that you could ever imagine. She is exquisite. She smiles in your face all the time. I'm not going to bring in the backstabbers, but she is incredible. She is phenomenal. Do you hear what I'm saying? She's phenomenal. This is the most incredible time in the world. This is the most incredible time in the world. I have never been so thrilled, so happy, so charged, so thrilled with what's going on than I am right now. Oh, but I want people to understand is to be able to critically think and to be able to look at this, because we have a lot that's going on right now. A lot that's going on. And first and foremost, if you don't read, if you don't pay attention, if you don't research, you're wasting your time. Number two, if you don't know anything about history, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You cannot know what is happening cyclically, not again versus yet again. You're not going to be able to understand cyclically unless you do this. You're not going to be able to figure out what's going on if you expect people to come to you and tell you what the news is. I can't say this enough to you, because one of the reasons for that is because you don't want me to what's the word? You don't want me to come forward and to decide what is and isn't acceptable or okay for you to understand. You have to do this. This has to be the year you, on your own, say, I'm changing everything. Not getting into shape or any of this stuff. Okay, that's fine. But getting intellectually into shape. Learn how to critically think. Dismiss yourself. Be critical of President Trump. Ask him, what are you doing? Does this make sense? You're not a part of a fan club. Be critical. Critical doesn't mean you don't like them. You're saying, no, this doesn't make any sense. This is wrong. This is right. The people who get it right, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This is the most important thing in the world. I got to tell you something. I can't say this again. There is nobody here who gives a rat's ass about Israel. I promise you. Americans don't care anything about it. It's one of the most important topics there is. I could spend, again, not what is happening. Well, I'll give you an example. I've known people, some in particular, whose life recognition, self-referential, their viewpoint of who they are, is dependent upon their Jewishness and what their family went through during the Holocaust. It defines them. And they will say, I am a survivor of. Okay? They wear it. They own it. It is the beginning and the end of who they are. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't do that. I'm not going to say that. But they will tell you this repeatedly. Yes, I understand it. I as a survivor of, I understand this. And you don't understand. And when it comes to Israel, and they basically tell you, I don't want to hear a word from you. You don't know because you're not Jewish, but you are not the survivor. And they keep telling me this. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You are not a survivor. Okay. And I have never denied it or any of that stuff. But I say to them, well, how can you countenance what's happening to a people, namely the Palestinians, which basically will end, at least in this particular group, the liquidation of these people, to what you're, and similar to what you are arguing. What? And they also tell me, you don't understand something. We, either survivors, children, or Jews, or Israel, whatever, we are incapable, by definition, of doing anything that even mimics or insinuates or even approximates that which was done during that period of time. Not only that, we've copyrighted the word. Don't ever say Holocaust about anything else. Don't talk about Dresden or internment or Japanese or no. Okay, fine. And I'm saying, do you want to see this? No. And they will look at you and they say, you do not understand. You do not understand what's going on here. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And here's the thing. We've got to be in a position, and I say this, we've got to be in a position where we've got to say, now, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I want you to listen to me. You can decide from now on, without making a big deal about it, you can say, I'm not going to listen to this anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm going to say exactly what I think. Pilgrim says, a friend doesn't tell his neighbor to stop taking the life of the murderous thug attacking them. Just saying. A friend doesn't tell his neighbor to stop taking the life of the murderous thug attacking them. What is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know. And if somebody is taking the life of the murderous thug attacking them, and the person says, if we keep doing this, we can take a lot of people out that we don't like under the rubric of murderous thug. We might not be that, shall we say, discriminate in the people that we're doing. Look at this. Liberalism is a mental disorder. The great Dr. Savage. Michael Savage, conservatism, radical, rude conservatism for people who have no depth whatsoever. He's a very, very, very entertaining person. Liberalism is a mental disorder. What does that mean? Defining liberalism? Do you think a liberal is somebody who believes, let's assume, let me just ask you, that abortion should be legal? Is that liberal? Let's assume you do. Let's assume you say, yeah, okay, that's a liberal thing, yeah. It's not conservative. That's not liberal. Is that a mental illness? No. What about anti-war? That was a liberal bastion. Is that a mental illness? No. Look at this one. Why does Lionel constantly put his listeners down? You're missing the point. You don't research. Get off the couch and go on. Are you kidding me? Do you hear this? This is like, you're hurting my feelings. Who's talking about you, Hinkapuss? Who's talking about you? I'm talking about the world. You hear how people focus on? I don't appreciate this. I'm not going to go. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Don't say bad things about me. This is the problem. What he or she, whatever, complains about is what I'm saying. He's not listening to the truth. Why are you saying mean things about me? You're missing the point. Hinkapuss misses the point when he says, why does Lionel constantly put his listeners down? Nobody's putting you down. You're like the people who say, you've got to go to work. I don't want to go to work. Stop complaining. Stop putting me down. I'm triggered. I'm hurt. This is exactly right, and doesn't realize that by saying this makes my point. Thank you, sir, ma'am, they. You hear this? I'm always pissed off. I don't like what you're saying. Forget the issues. Forget what we're talking about. Forget the country. Forget the world. No. It's you. I don't like you. Hey, I like him. Let's get mean about people. I'm talking about people who don't study the issues, who don't get off their ass. Is there anybody who disagrees with that? Is there anybody who thinks, wait a minute, Americans are far more aware of what's going on than any group you can imagine? How we know exactly what's going on. We have impressive and impeccable critical thinking skills. How dare you say that? Are you out of your mind? This is what's wrong with us. Thank you. I could not have said it better myself. Pilgrim says, some people's kids, huh, Mr. L? Love your stuff. Some people's kids. I have no idea what that means. Some people's kids. What does that mean? I swear to God, I don't. Some people's kids. Some people's. I don't know what that means. Look at this. This is it. Some people don't like the truth. It may hurt their feelings. And when you remember, there's an old joke, and the joke goes like this: guy walks into a bar and yells, all lawyers are assholes. And somebody at the bar says, hey, I resent that. He says, are you a lawyer? He says, no, I'm an asshole. Okay. Now, it depends upon how I see the joke. Are you talking about me? Or are you talking about somebody else? If I say, beware of the people who don't think, hey, what are you yelling at our listeners for? Excuse me. My listeners don't consider themselves even a part of that. You do, and I can see why. Hey, why are you saying we don't know anything? I didn't say you don't know anything. It's an Americans don't know anything. But you must feel very sensitive about that because you're precisely that. This is the most, I cannot thank you. Thank you for this. James says, life is a full contact sport. If you can't tolerate some scratches and bruises, stay on the porch. Absolutely. But also this thing about being offended. Offended. Everybody loves to be, I don't know. And we get into this like, I like her. I like Pat. I don't understand this. I like Walter Cronkite. I like Eric Severoid. We never did this before. We never were fans of the individuals. We've taken this kind of a People magazine kind of a way of looking at things. Oh my God. We are into the same thing, the same people who get upset, who hate President Trump by virtue of his boldness, are the same people I'm talking about now. This is the most important thing. This is the most important thing I have ever seen in my life. Leave Ainsley alone, bully. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. I hope you're kidding. She actually asked, do you think people before they hit the water know they're dying? Are they in pain? What's that like to fall when your plane blows up? Do you have time to pray? I hope you're kidding me. She's a buffoon. She's the one who said, this is like, remember PM Magazine? Hi, I'm Gary Collins. Hi, I'm Mary. Today we're going to talk about what's the best way to roast a turkey. Should you leave it in or should you put it in water? That's the world people live in. And morons like, what made you think of this? Think of this. This is, by the way, this is the number one. Well, they say the number one cable news is like saying the number one, senior Olympics miler. You know what I mean? This is the same group, by the way, who has Sean Hannity ask a 5-minute intro question with the president sitting there, and he's going on and on and on. I mean, that's okay. It's okay, whatever it is. You watch that, go ahead. There is so much out there that's good. Oh my God. But you know what? It involves reading. Oh, I don't read stuff. No, 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 no. If you don't tell me this, or if I don't see it in a meme, or if I don't see it in some Instagram thing, or if I don't see it in some, forget it. If it's not on TikTok, if it's not in a presentation, this is why my friend who's a fourth grade teacher said kids can't even write because they can't even track and they can't read because they're used to this. That's where we live today. If you don't tell me, I'm not going to look it up and I'm not going to read and I don't care. If it doesn't come across my screen, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. Unless you talk, unless I can push that button and look at it and see the movie come at me, That's why, thank God, Substack at least involves reading. Reading is a different comprehension. Reading is a completely different comprehension, a different level of comprehension. Cut Up Chatter says, Lionel is an exceptional teacher in so much current world activity. He only points out lacking in understanding to guide further education. A C grade is hard if you got fake A's all your life. Well, thank you. It's true. What would you say about this as far as the C grade and everything? When you read something, you're able to slow it down and to savor the words and the idea. Is it better to hear poetry or see or read poetry? What? Is it better to hear it or read it? People would say, I don't know poetry. Okay, lyrics. Now that's a song, obviously, but I mean, when you read something at your own speed, you get to detect, savor the delivery, the words. You can stop, you can imagine, you can do whatever you want. That's reading is a whole different, as opposed to, you're going to give it to me at whatever speed this is. That's it. That's it. And nobody even cares about how it's phrased, how it's said, it's a lot of B-roll and things like that. They're both very, very important. Sometimes, I mean, after all, you go to hear a lecture, right? You're hearing somebody. A lecture it's a viva voce. It's a live version of somebody doing a YouTube. That's great. But if you ask people the question of what's the difference, they're like, poetry. I don't read, but I don't even know what you're talking about. Poetry. I don't read poetry. Who's your favorite philosopher? What? Last book read. What? What? What was it? What was the? Did you ever have a moment of inspiration or an aha moment, kind of a moment in science? You heard it? No. What are you talking about? It's like being able to say, have you ever heard the note, the C major? I've never heard that. Do you realize what we're talking about right now? And this is the composite. This is an admixture of, first of all, lousy education, but number two, a lack of curiosity and incuriosity. People aren't curious about stuff. They don't go. They just want to sit back and react. They want to get very, very, and when it comes to the inability to nuance and say, yeah, look at what's different, look at what's the same. I told you this years ago, I'm going to say it again, and I'm wasting my time, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. I read about this study one time where they took these young people and they said, what can they do? What can young people do in terms of mental or cerebral, I prefer cerebral, but acuity or speed. And they were very good at kind of a whack-a-mole thing. Like if something was fast, they're very, very good. Okay. What older people didn't do as well. What older people did better was they could look at two situations and find out which were the same, which were different. What's that called? Judgment. Judgment is nuance. Yeah, that's true. People hate nuance. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God. The worst is, well, you've done that. We've done that. Yeah, but that's different. I don't know. I love that. I love the hypocrisy. I love the absolute hypocrisy of what's going on in the world. And like I told you before, and I mentioned what was going on in certain parts of Israel and Palestine, there are people who just refuse. They will not even look at what's going on. Whatever the Palestinians are even electing or even suggesting is happening to them, they don't want to have anything. They just elect to forget it. And I asked somebody again, do you think that there could be another Hitler And he said, of course. It's like, Here's one for you. Right. You know how ordinary he was? Absolutely ordinary. He was. And everybody, and your favorite word is psychopath. People love the word psychopath. They love the word psychopath. They don't even know what psychopathy even means. They have no idea. I think they mean like a killer or somebody who doesn't have feelings or I guess something. But was Hitler a psychopath? No. What? No. He was so ordinary, he wasn't even funny. He wasn't that brilliant. Did you ever read Mein Kampf? What? Oh, it's the most stupid writing you've ever heard in your life. You can't even believe it. It's like reading Michelle Obama's book. I read some passages of it. I can't tell you I read the whole book. I mean, it was laughable. What I just told you right now absolutely confounds people. And they know nothing about it. They have created a perception of something. Same thing you'll see in religion. Don't ever ask them about religion. Don't ever ask them. Don't ask questions about God. You just take it, accept it, don't ask any questions. That's the way it is. If you ask any questions, if you find any particular fault or something, you are sacrilegious and you're a heathen and you're a terrible person. I start with religion. Remember the rules they told you? Religion and politics. Don't ever talk about them? That's what I start with that. What else is it's the best thing in the world? Religion is the most, it's the greatest story in the world. It's the first thing. If I met somebody from another planet, they said, tell me the weirdest thing people do. Religion. Watch this. You're gonna love this one. What's religion? Hard to say. Hard to say. It kind of deals with. It started with maybe with some superstitions, some mythologies. Basically, kind of who runs the show. How did we get here? My favorite is that there had to be something to bring this about. Nothing comes from nothing. That's my favorite. And they don't even understand that there's no such thing as nothing. But anyway. And the person would say or think telepathically, I don't know what you're saying. Well, let me show you this. Let's go to a church. I got to show you this. You've got to see this. You've got to see what people do and how they will kill each other in the name of religion. How they'll kill each other. They won't let people marry each other. If you fall in love in certain parts of the world, and if you are a member of the wrong religion, the parents won't allow you to marry. Because you have a different, and there are people who are considered so spiritual, like the Buddhists, who are atheists. They don't even know this. It's the funniest. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Oh my God. You can't believe it. Then the best one is, let me show you sports. You're going to love this one. Oh, you're going to believe this. This, at least you could say, well, religion is, it's based on a kind of a philosophical belief system. But sports, it's got to be one person, again, I guess, running against somebody else, or it's competition. You do very few things kind of by yourself. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you're always competing against somebody or something. I can't think of any sport where there is no competition anyway. But we have a Super Bowl coming up. It's the most stupid thing you've ever seen in your life. Most stupid thing in your life. And the best part is, listen to the people who play it. Now, they're very, very good athletically, but they're more. A lot of them are just morons. And they've suffered so much brain trauma throughout their life because what you're doing is you're seeing a football player at the end of his career. He played high school, college football. His brains have been scrambled since high school. Every time you hit the ground, and they're so stupid, they think that if you wear a helmet, somehow you're going to protect your brains. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTEs, and tau proteins, and all this kind of where they're drooling in their oatmeal. That comes from not hits to the head, but just shaking. Remember, if you shake it, you break it. And this goes, you remember shaking baby syndrome? Well, they've been shaking their head their whole life. They've been doing, and some do it, and they don't even get a scholarship. But we're going to be betting, and they're going to have teams, and we're going to have people going crazy, and they're going to be getting drunk and wearing uniforms and wearing jerseys with numbers. And I've got friends of mine who are Philly fans who are they're going to go crazy over a stupid goddamn game that is so dumb, it doesn't even matter. It's ridiculous. It kind of mimics war a little bit, but this is what we do. So we have religion, we got sport, and by the way, we're nothing compared to Europeans. And then we have politics. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's who we are. Now, what somebody might say, well, I think you're being kind of mean to people. So what? It's the truth. It's the most incredible. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And we are not going to get any better. And you know what? It keeps people like me always amused. Because if everybody started acting the way they should, I don't know what I would do. It's like, but I can't, because it's amusing. It is truly amusing, especially when somebody says, why are you so mean to your listeners? I'm not mean to people. I think you think I'm one of the people I'm talking about, Sparky. Well, you're mean. I'm not mean. You're just thin-skinned. You're a child. You're a baby. You're one of the numbnuts I'm talking about. There you go again. But it's true. It's true. What do you do to contribute to that? I don't do anything. That's why you sit back and you just bitch and moan and you'll type something. You don't do anything. Your whole life is just, nah, yes, no. Your whole life is swiping and liking or not liking or on something. No. But you know what? Don't feel bad. We've always had people like you and always will have them. And it gives the rest of us something to talk about, because if everybody were enlightened and paid attention, what would be the point? Okay? All right. What a delightful day we've had today, my friends. What a delightful day. Cut Up Chatter, Pilgrim Media. Thank you so much. Not sure what you meant, but thank you so much. Crypto. Here we go. Crypto says, I like this. Says, I want to get those scammers on the list of cartels because they are connected to human trafficking in ways that we don't even know. Listen, human trafficking is so much, Crypto. And by the way, Edie, thank you. Human trafficking is just, I mean, this is, nobody wants to talk about it. Let me tell you who does want to talk about it. A bunch of women that I've seen, not always, but some places, who couldn't get into the African Violence Society, who think all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to be some mom for something or other. And they'll get together until they get bored and they move on. They don't want to do the heavy lifting. It's really hard and it's very deliberative. They just kind of want to put their names out there. Remember years ago when they did that cry for freedom, honey? Cry for freedom. Sound for freedom. Cry, something like that. Sound of freedom. Remember that? It was great. And we forgot all about it. And then all these phony balonies. Well, I'm a SEAL Team 6 and we're going to rappel. We're going to fly into, really? And we're going to rescue these kids. That lasted about a week. They're not rescuing anybody. What about people here? We don't have trafficking here. Oh, yes, we do. See, these are the bullshit peddlers that we have. There's all these people. You've seen them. Remember one thing. Whenever somebody wears something, and I'm sorry to say this, a flag lapel pin, a cross, a Star of David, a Mogen David, anything that says, this is who I am, college ring, a label, whatever it is, they're telling you, this is what I want you to think I am, not what I am. Chuck says, human trafficking goes way up during the Super Bowl. Goes way up? Are you kidding? It's one of the most, and also Davos, any of the G7s, Bilderberg, whenever you have a group of people coming into a place, and the number one, listen to this, the number one, if I could take this one place, the Academy Awards, seal it off, just seal off everybody in this Dorothy Chandler Pavilion or wherever the hell it is, if I could just seal it off, pick that whole building up and send it to a different planet, sex crimes and perversion and paraphilia will drop 75%. That is the source of some of the most perverted degenerates you have ever seen in your life, who, since way before Clara Bow and Charlie Chaplin, they've been around contaminating the world. The entertainment world is filled with the most demented predators you've ever seen in your life. All right? All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Wasn't that fun today? I had a great time. I feel better. I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. Comment. And don't just do me a favor. I don't want to know whether you're offended. Nobody gives a shit about that. We don't care about that. We want to tell us about the issues. Tell us about what would you, but not about you. Not about, oh, that hurt my feelings. Oh, I like Patrick Bet-David. Oh, stop it. Nobody cares about that. That's fan club stuff. Talk about what are the issues? What do we need to do? What's the best way to tackle them? Human behavior. Why do we do this? Why are there people? By the way, remember these. Notice how the drone issue's gone? We never found out. President Trump, he didn't find anything out. Well, we did some research and there's nothing to worry about. Okay, thank you. What's the matter with us? That's what I want to know. But do me a favor. Nobody wants to hear how you're offended. Nobody cares about that. Believe me when I tell you that. Nobody. It's just like these people who sit around in their PJs and their size. And they, I'm upset. I'm triggered. I can't get out of bed today. Oh, my God, I'm going to put the covers over my head. Shut up, you baby. Come here. Let me slap the hell out of you. Go out and do something. Get off your ass. You're miserable. We don't need you. You're like a slug. You're like this appendix. You're like these bodily organs. We don't know what the hell they do. What does the appendix do? I don't know. It just collects cells, and we got to take it out every now and then. All right, kids. Have a great, great, great day. Don't ever change and mean that sincerely. See you later. Don't forget The Monkey's Dead. The show's over. Sue you. Oh, don't forget February 22nd at the Cutting Room. Tickets available right now, my friends. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors, Lionel Legal, and right here, Lionel Nation. Until then, The Monkey's Dead. Show's over. Sue you. Da-da.